Welcome to the Couch Coach. I'm your host Faisal Jacobs, and in studio, the couch ain't big enough, but we welcome back the Fishrite and Overpark under 14 cricket boys who returned back from an awesome trip over in the UK. They're here to tell us all about that trip, so stay tuned. Who are we?
HV1 team! Come on!
So we welcome back in studio the boys from Nova Park, the under 14 cricket club. Ashraf and Wesley, welcome back.
Nice meeting you, Faisal.
Okay, they still
Thank
got
you.
the South African accents going here. That trip, I've been following you guys on social media. It looked amazing. How was it?
Faisal, firstly, I think we must praise the Almighty for giving us the strength, the health, just the ability to get up in the morning and go and achieve what we wanted to go and achieve. And like you say, it was an amazing trip. Lots of memories, lots of subplots, lots of challenges. But yeah, we pretty chuffed in terms of the goals and objectives that we had before we left, that we have achieved that, and on our return, we can humbly say that we, proud of the club's achievement. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Wesley,
Yes,
coach,
Faisal.
what was it like for you? I mean, it was, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. And then you had to stay over in Istanbul, my favorite city. So, tell us a little bit about the cricket,
Good
the
eve-
stand-up moments there for you.
Good evening, Faisal. Thanks for having us here on the show today. Well, what can I say? It's been an amazing trip. Flying with the boys had me in tears, firstly. Coming over to Turkey, landing in Turkey, beautiful view, overseas, just an amazing experience. Back to the cricket, conditions over there, brilliant, greenery of England.
And Mr. Doughty,
Never has-
sitting back there. He was trying to take over my job here on the couch, eh?
Yeah. Hats off to our media guru, Mr. Safwan Doughty, for doing our pitch reports and everything. We just felt that like we played at Newlands every match. Even the hosts over there, they welcomed us. Good pitches for club level.
Nice.
Just an amazing experience to see London, Birmingham and Turkey.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. But I can just say thank you to our chairman and to all our sponsors that made our dream possible.
Amazing, amazing. Mr. Chair, and there's such a lot that I saw that was happening there. I mean, the boys got to meet Steve Waugh, Merv Hughes, and some legends.
Yeah. Look, we all knew that would be possible because we went over, as you know, we originally wanted to go during the World Cup, and that didn't happen. And what's the next best thing is the Ashes. And we knew along the journey we're going to bump into some, prominent cricketers, ex-cricketers, even current cricketers. And we have an Australian in our midst. We're talking a lot about him.
Yeah.
But there's learnings because yes, some of our boys never heard of some of these, but we could tell them who Merv Hughes was, who Steve Waugh was. I shared the story because from a batting perspective, obviously batsmen go through bad form and you maybe have a string of ducks. And I asked them the question, at the prime of his career, he was number 1, but this person had the most ducks. Can you name them? Can you name this individual? And they couldn't name him because they didn't know him. But I knew at the time of his prime and being number 1 in the world, Steve Waugh had at the time the most ducks, but he was number 1. So the message that we could convey to our youth, our boys on tour, was despite the many failures, he still made it to the top. So the failures is your platform to reach to
That's
the.
a building block.
It's a building block.
It's a building
So
block.
so those are the type of things, even that they didn't know about these individuals, we could share, and it was just amazing that we could do that. And obviously, the one cricketer that they all wanted to meet was their patron.
Yeah.
And as you know, we had that opportunity. And again, we have had so many challenges, but we have had so many blessings throughout those challenges. And the morning of, you know, the Ashes was played from the 1st of August, and it ended on the 5th of August. And Moeen played in that game, and they lost heavily. And I had the media mailing me and asking, can you guarantee that Moeen Ali will be there the next day? Because they obviously wanted now, obviously, to interview him. And I went back and I said to them, they wanted to know, will he be there? Can he be interviewed? I said, the man is he's a man of his honor.
Yeah.
He will keep his word. He will be there. But I can't guarantee you that he's going to do an interview. Lo and behold, after a heavy defeat, as tired as he was one of the first ones at the field the next day. We played at Moseley Ashfield, the club where he played when he was the age of our boys. And I could see when I received it, I could see the tiredness on his face. But yet he was there. And he honored, you know, the being a patron, he honored that role that he plays. And it was drizzling before he came. When he came, the skies opened. He spent a lot of time with our boys, but what was amazing, the clouds then, you know, gathered, and it was storming. But it was a bonding situation. It was better than actually playing a game, because our two clubs could bond, management, the juniors, with Moeen Ali, and he spent not only time with our boys, but he could spend time with the other youth as well, which they themselves need whatever we need. And I think that was just brilliant. And then someone remarked, because as he was leaving, I walked with the umbrella, and it was storming. And someone reckoned Moeen brought the sunshine, but he's leaving a storm as he leaves. and that was quite a statement, a profound statement to make. And we just had a wonderful time on that particular day.
That's really, really awesome. From your players' point of view, how many games did you guys play?
We were supposed to play 8 matches. Unfortunately, 1 match couldn't happen. We played 7 matches in total. So proud of my boys. They've won 3 out of the 7, lost 4. But all I can say is there were camaraderie. Hard fights against those boys who were well experienced. For our boys, some of them aged 10 years old, competing against big boys. I don't know if you've noticed, there was this one picture with our young Jean Bowers with this big giant of 14-year-old. But that's how it went. The boys played well, they enjoyed themselves, and I think they gained a lot of experience out of those matches.
I still can't tell you or even put into words the joy I had just following your posts. So, where to from here now for you guys?
Well, look, my message was clear when we were on tour. We obviously, on a daily basis, we had a debrief of the day that's passed and the day ahead. But we also had a debrief of what's our responsibility coming back home. We had a responsibility going over there, being ambassadors of our country, of our club, of our community. You saw that we had the South African flag all over. I had a scarf. We actually lost our flag as we left here. But that's the amazing thing. So many South Africans connected with us. And they brought 2 flags and 2 scarves. And that's how this tour, awoke a lot of expats also in the UK. But the message was very simple. The tour is actually the sexy part of this whole. We worked hard, raising the funds. We worked hard, working with our patrons, our donors, our benefactors. But the message is now coming back home. This is when the real tour starts. This is where the hard work starts. Yes, and the learnings that we experience on tour, we must come back. and apply those learnings. We's always, and the junior management, Christopher always talks to the boys about table manners. So it's the little basics. We call table manners not specific, but it's just how you conduct yourself as an individual. And this is the, and I've said hard work, and hard work is not always just the physical. It's the mental. And I think we're going to be very disappointed if this group of 21, and I include the adults, including myself, the 21 in the group, if we don't come back and implement and share with the rest of our club the learnings there, so that we can then take that forward. Because I can tell you that each and every club that has hosted us, people that we met for the very first time, that we befriended, calls us brothers and sisters and friends, they want us back. We've received carte blanche invites to return. And, you know, that's a message that we want to bring back to the club. And we'll obviously have to work hard at it. On the field, off the field. So I think that's what the next steps are for us going forward.
It sounds
It's
exciting
exciting.
for Hanover Park going forward, eh?
We're really excited about it.
Awesome. Before we go on break, Wesley and Ashraf, we've got 2 minutes. The biggest highlight for you of this trip before we chat to some of the other guys.
Wesley, you go. You go.
Okay, from the player side, I think the best was meeting Moeen Ali, sitting in the cloakroom with Moeen Ali, meeting him. Some boys taking advice, especially on the off-spin bowling, how your body should be. For me personally, that is a very humble guy. He related as if we knew him for many years. So thanks to Moeen Ali for his advice. I think that was the highlight for the boys. And there were many more. I think going to Anfield as well, we had that opportunity to Manchester, visiting Stamford Bridge. Luckily, some of my boys mostly were Manchester, Liverpool and Chelsea supporters, so it were in their favour. Unfortunately, we had one PSG, and this one lady wanted to take him to France at the airport just to go. But I think we had a clip. We met a guy with a Mbappe t-shirt, and eventually this young man took a photo with him. So I think, yeah, it was just amazing. That was a highlight for me, for the boys seeing the stadium, also Edgbaston, and especially home of Cricket Lords.
Look, for me, it might sound like a non-event, but the day we arrived in Birmingham, as we're going through customs, I was standing with my vice chair, Riyad Khamildin, and I was telling him, all our boys, including our management, were on the phones back, speaking to the family back home. And I said to him, put a value to this, what's happening now. You can't put a value to that. You created excitement amongst the boys, but you're creating excitement back home. And the family back home was following us throughout the storm. And just for me also, on a daily basis, even though through the challenges, just seeing how they enjoying themselves, having fun, but being determined and committed. Like I said, there was challenges. They are boys, so we have to put them in check. But those were all part of the learning curve. You know. So that for me was the highlight.
Amazing, amazing. Fortunately, we have to take a break, and we're going to get some of the other boys up on the couch. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming back to share. We'll be back with you after we've paid some bills. Welcome back to the Couch Coach, and we welcome the Hanover Park Under 14 Boys captain, Carl.
Thank you.
And Ashraf is back. Carl, captain, the all-rounder. Tell us about your tour.
It was a very good tour. We experienced things we never thought was possible. We're just glad this dream became a reality, and I'm very glad I could contribute to the team.
Okay, so what was your figures like on this on tour?
I scored 227 runs. I took 4 wickets.
And your highest score?
My highest score was 77 not out.
Watch out, Proteas. What was your favorite ground to play on?
Harborne Cricket Club.
Melbourne. Nice. And were you also lucky enough to go to the Ashes?
Yeah, very lucky.
What was
It was
that
always my dream to be at the Ashes Stadium,
like?
watching the Ashes live.
And meeting those legends there.
Yes.
Just this excitement on the faces. Ashraf, so we spoke in the first segment about where to, and you say it's continuing this legacy of what you learned on this trip. The future for Hanover Park.
Yeah, like I said, you know, when I ended off our responsibility back home, because we've got our patrons, our benefactors, we have a responsibility towards them. But I think the message that we also want to convey is coming back home, we know that we're coming back to not the best of facilities. And that was a very pertinent point for us to take our boys to these pristine grounds. I remember one lady, I said to her, you've got beautiful facilities, and she told me it's a bit run down. And I said, what? And but in good jest, she took it on board when I, you know, shared some of our challenges here back home. So I think there's a lot of things that we need to work on coming back. We're working with local government to try and get our facility up to a standard. I think that's the first part. But things like, if you, and this is no disrespect to our opposition, because they were wonderful hosts. All people from all walks of life just embracing us and proving that we're breaking boundaries together. And the one thing though that stands out is the quality of equipment they had versus what we had. I mean, our boys would stroke a ball, we'd expect it to go to the boundary, and it just goes halfway. And their boys would do the same stroke and it goes for 4 because of the quality of. And then I also looked at the size of our boys and their boys. And it's not as if they were cheating, they were bigger, but I think that to me is something that I want to talk to our management, our club, is the dietary needs of our boys as well. Things that we don't really realize, and we need to take that. And I'm not going to say, yes, so we have to have that holistic approach. If you think of it, we didn't eat properly on tour as well, because for various, so we wanted to spoil one another, but we need to take cognizance of those type of things. So I think coming back, sitting with our benefactors, our donors, our patrons, these are all things that we want to highlight. It's important, but it also costs money. So we'll have to work hard. And I think the one thing that we don't always want to just beg for, to become self-sustainable. But we need to start producing Protea players, because they must come back and reinvest. So that's the concept.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we got about a minute left. A message out there to other clubs, managers, that's in your situation. Do you have a message for them out there?
I think hard work has never killed anybody. We just saw a heroic innings on Sunday, Ben Stokes. And the one thing each and everybody spoke about this individual was the hard work he put in. Versus any other player that they have experienced. I'm talking about pundits, ex-professionals. So my message to other clubs is we want to walk this journey with them. People on the Cape Flats that have similar challenges, and we're open to engage with them. But it has to be done with the sincerity, with the commitment, with the moral ethics, and all the rest. Because all the hard work and you don't have the proper morals and the ethics and the good intentions and the proper intentions, then it's not going to work. So we want to engage because we want our fellow clubs to join us on this journey, because it's senseless we are striving to be there and we get there and then others are still down there. We need to walk that
together.
path. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Carl, it was lovely chatting, and we hope to see you soon in the colours of first the Cobras and then the Proteas.
Inshallah.
Ashraf,
Thank
shukran
you.
so much.
Thank you.
And please do keep in touch.
Will do.
To our viewers out there, think this is such an amazing story, hard work, as Ashraf said, can really take you places. That's not just from a sports management point of view, but from a player point of view as well. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to check back. We got that bald-headed ref so that he teaches us on how not to scold the ref. We'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back to the Couch Coach, and in studio we welcome back our bald-headed ref, Zaidopoulos. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
How's things been?
Good. A bit interesting over the weekend with some games, but yeah, see how it goes.
Interesting.
Always
interesting.
Never dull moment.
So there's some good rugby happening this weekend.
Besides Australia, yes.
36 reasons why Australia is up there.
Yeah.
What have you got for us today?
Yeah. So today we just dwelling into the penalties and free kicks, which is always a contentious issue. But yeah, we're just going in terms of what constitutes where it should take place, that type of thing. We've already touched the foul play and the infringement previously, so now we're going to go at the actual penalties and free kicks.
Awesome.
All right.
Classes in session.
Yeah. So penalties and free kicks it's awarded to the team to restart play after an infringement. So foul play or whatever happens, there's an infringement. And then that's the form of starting it. So the location on the field as to where it happens. So it's anywhere on the playing field. However, the closest you can get to your opposing team is 5 meters from the line. So anywhere on the playing field.
Within 5
meters from your try line that you scored. Okay. So the opposing player. Yeah. So the location varies. So depending on the actual infringement. So if it's in general play, like we're playing and something happens, excluding a late charge after a kick, it will happen, the location is at the place of the infringement. So I get tackled, ear, eye or whatever, that's where it will be if it happens that side, as long as it's within the field of play. Except, as we said, a late charge
after a kick.
Yeah, so that's what happens. So when the ball is dead, so the ball goes over the dead ball line, something happens, I get tackled late, whatever the matter is. So where or even over the touch line, so where the play would have restarted, if it goes over the touch line or within 15 meters of the touch line, and it goes dead over the touch line, it will be 15 meters from the touch line, in line with that place. Okay. So if it goes hypothetically out by the touch over the halfway line, so on the halfway, 15 meters from the touch. Okay, so that's the one thing. Then the next point would be infringement that takes place outside the playing area while the ball is in play. So I pass and I swerve over or just move here over the touch line. I get tackled late or a punch gets thrown. I'm just using an example. It will be 15 meters from in line, again similar to when the ball goes dead. So that would be the next one. Then
so we need to have measuring sticks here.
Yeah. Also awareness from the referee. That often happens, seeing that we're talking about what happens afterwards. An infringement in a line out. So hypothetically, there's a line out and the jumper gets pulled down. Yeah, let's just use that as an easy example. So 15 meters from the touch line, in line on the mark of touch. So it happens here. This is the line out. I move 15 meters from the touch line. Which you often get, some of our cynical or just funny, stupid characters. So I any subsequent infringement. So I penalize a player, I penalize you hypothetically for going off your feet. And penalty, and as you walk away, you turn around and you say something funny or, derogatory remark or something. I advance another 10 meters. So basically,
chirping.
the normal thing. So
You're so sensitive, Mr. Ref.
Well, we're only there just to manage the laws, that's all. Nothing else. So now we get to a bit of a more technical aspect, the late charging of a kicker. Okay, and that's where it becomes a bit. So if I get late charged as the kicker, I kick it up, I get taken out late afterwards, so I can either choose at the place on the infringement, so here where I get tackled, or where the ball lands.
Oh.
Or where the ball, where it's next played. So I kick it and it doesn't land, but the opponent catches it. That's where the option I have. Okay. If the infringement, I kick it and I'm inside my in-goal area, so behind my own try line. So it will be taken, the penalty is 5 meters from my goal
the
line, in line with the place of infringement, but also 15 meters from the touch
From
line.
the touch
That's why I
line,
said it
okay.
becomes a bit technical. So you need to know your location on the field.
Geometry.
Yeah, something like it. Okay, so if I late charge on me and the ball goes out, goes over the touch line, it will be 15 meters from the touch line, similar to earlier on, in line with where the
The
ball
ball went
lands.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, where it went into touch. Yeah, and then also if the ball hits a crossbar, you know, the poles
Yeah.
or the crossbar, it will be where, you know, the mark is on the 5 meter line, in line with where the infringement occurs. So it hits a pole, basically 5 meters from there.
From
Right.
there.
Any infringement in goal, again, we come 5 meters away from my touchline. So I move inside the field of play, 5 meters. All right. Yeah, so the options at the penalty or free kick. So I get awarded the free kick as the player or the non-offending team. I got the option to either take the penalty or the free kick or a scrum. So there's always the option. So often you will see, normally that's when the big boys thrive, you know, especially when we're on the throw, we want to see if we can, do something special there. If an infringement takes place at in a line-out, okay, I got the option for a penalty or a line-out, you know.
Okay,
I
so
can
you
either
retake.
Yeah, correct. Taking a penalty or a free kick, it needs to happen without delay. So I need to take it. I can't stop and delay, cause any unduly delay. Any player from the non-offending team can take the kick, the penalty or the free kick. He needs to use the same ball, so you can't change balls.
Okay.
Also, you can't make a substitute on a penalty. Okay, so if I get awarded the penalty, you can't make the change and then
You have
carry
to
on.
get play resume.
Yeah, the ball must be kicked a visible distance. So he needs to. I'm the kicker. The ball needs to leave my hand, and I need to clearly kick it. You know, there needs to be a detach from the ball from the hand. And then just lastly, the opposing team at the free kick, they need to immediately retreat 10 meters. So if you're within the 10 meters, you will always see the referee point 10
Point back,
meters.
yeah.
They need to give the attacking team space to create, to
advance.
attack. Yeah, correct. And then also they mustn't do anything to obstruct the kick or the player, the non-offending player of taking the kick. And opposing teams at the free kick. So the first one was the penalty. So now at the free kick. So as soon as the kicker initiates movement, so like you see sometimes the guy makes as if he starts his run up or whatever. The opposing team may charge. Yes, correct. And then also, if how do I put this? If the opposing team charges fairly and prevents the kick from taking place, so he charges and he manages to prevent the kick or pick up the ball, whatever, the kick is disallowed, and the player restarts with a scrum to the opposing team. Yeah. And that's about it. Becomes a bit technical, however.
There's a lot. I see you brought mathematics in with you today, in geometry.
And they say, become a referee, it's easy.
So just for the viewers out there, rugby is not just for the dormouse, eh?
Let's clarify that.
Mr. Ref, thank you so much for shedding some light on that for us. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to catch us next week as we continue with the Bald-Headed Ref, where he teaches you, and hopefully you don't end up sculling the ref. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.